Do you ever wonder how the pros like Roger Federer, Andy Murray, and other pros, when you see them practice, how they hit knifing slice? Knifing slice, slicey! Now, you may have heard from maybe other pros out there that you got to hit through that slice to get the knifing bite on the, my lips. Whew. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Would you like to learn how to hit that knifing, biting slice just like you see on the pros when they're practicing and they're making that ball skim over the net? Or even if it's going a little bit higher, the amount of spin on it. One secret that I think the pros use a lot that you probably don't hear about is side spin. If you ever really slow down some slow motion of the pros like we're gonna do now, you're gonna notice a different swing path than what you've probably been told. And really quickly, I'd like to thank Love Tennis for providing these type of videos, because we couldn't do these type of analysis without these type of videos. So thank you, Love Tennis. What you've probably been told is to what? Make sure as you're hitting that slice, you have this follow through that falls all the way out, stretching. Well, if you slow down the pros like we're gonna do today, you're not gonna see that. You're not gonna see the stretching out action during the slice. So we're gonna use Roger Federer to look at this. So if you watch here as we look at Roger getting ready to hit a slice, one of the key components is he has a great unit turn, meaning he's taking the racket up, pretty standard, and he's coiling his shoulders. Now, where it starts to deviate is once we get to the forward swing. Now, the thing I want you to think about is this phrase. Again, we talked about, if you've ever watched us talk about the volleys on the last video I did, where the racket path bends the ball and the racket face sends the ball. I'll say that again. The racket path bends the ball, meaning spin, applying spin to the ball, and the racket face directs the ball. It sends the ball in the path. I think this is so key. So as we watch this, and you watch Federer starting to uncoil his shoulders, I want you to watch a couple things: the swing path and the contact, which we're going to slow down. So as he starts swinging through, notice he's swinging across his body. Now this is key when you look at contact and you hear people saying, well, you want the racket face pretty open on the slice, and I think this is really incorrect. And it also, I will say, it depends on what type of slice you're hitting. For right now, we're talking about the biting slice compared to maybe a slice that might float. If you're trying to make the slice float a little bit, maybe buy yourself time, the racket face will set a little bit more open. But for these type of slices we're talking about, the racket face is going to be very close to vertical, if not a slight bit open. And you can see that here, very gradually open at contact. And as he goes through the ball, you can see him coming off to the side. You don't see the stretching out through the ball. And I'm going to play that back again and cover those two topics again. Notice how the racket face is very close to almost vertical. And just to show you this, take a look at this. This is Roger hitting a backhand, topspin backhand. I'll play it out a little bit so you can see it is a topspin backhand. But if you look at contact, it's vertical. It's not that far different from the slice. Just a couple of degrees, maybe 1 or 2 degrees more open. So coming back here to the slice with Roger, notice how his follow through, which I think is really key from what most coaches are telling you, which you need to stretch out. Let's see, as he continues his follow through, you really see how there is no stretch. It's pretty much from contact coming across. And what you'll see is the racket face stays vertical and then gets to where the racket face starts to come up at the end. He actually stays vertical pretty much the entire time on this one. But you can really see how he's knifing, cutting across. And this is pretty standard for Roger. As we go to Murray here, you're going to see him do the exact same thing. He's probably pulling a little bit more into the ball, but as he makes contact, notice the contact point again. Very close to vertical, 1, maybe 2 degrees more open. And then once he makes contact, again, you see this exact same swing path that you saw Roger have, a little bit more where you can see the racket face kind of comes open, but you can definitely tell how he's not knifing and extending through the ball. So if you want to start getting this knifing slice, start coming across your ball a little bit more. What are some of the benefits you might be asking of me coming across the ball? Well, one thing that you see the pros when they hit the knifing slice, the ball tends to have some side spin, which makes it, I think, a little bit more difficult to hit. Not that the ball is just coming directly at you, it's biting and curving, which for most people When you see a ball biting and curving, it makes it a lot more difficult to hit. So if you want to do this, start practicing coming more across the ball and not extending through the ball as much, and you'll start noticing that you can hit a little bit more curve on your slice, which will make it more difficult for your opponents to hit.